I met one of them. Who? The men. The planes. I met one of them. Hmm. I didn't know, I didn't know it was him or what he was. Found out later. I was in San Diego. I was a cop. Someone made a complaint about him, said he was making threats. I interviewed him, looked into it. There wasn't anything there. There wasn't anything there. I mean, the FBI found me, after it happened, and they told me I'd met him. It was in the records. I filed a report. I wrote the real name right in the report. You met him? Yeah, I met him. What does this mean? I don't know. How would I know? It should mean something. Sure, it should mean something. These were odd men, little boys, not men, flying their planes like little boys do. I don't know little boys so much, only little girls. After I quit, I left all that shit so I could come here. Then I came here to help, to train the future police force of the Free Republic of Iraq. Well, good for you. I missed it. Him and everything exploded. Everyone did. They jumped so they wouldn't have. They jumped. You watched them jump. And so I came here. So that's, that fixes everything. Done and done. Goodbye 9/11. Adios. Au revoir. Whatever the fuck it is in Arabic. Shukran. I've heard that. Shukran. That means goodbye. Sometimes, but it more means thank you. A thing is done. Thank you. Okay. Shukran 9/11. Shukran 9/11. Safiya was a princess, a Jew actually, daughter of the king and married to the sheriff of the tribe. One day she lay down to sleep, and she dreamt of the moon. She saw it coming closer, falling, 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 until she seemed to be holding the moon in her hands. When she woke, she told her husband of her dream. He said it meant she wished to marry his enemy, the Prophet Muhammad, praised be his name. In anger, he struck her, on her face here, on the cheek. And then the Prophet came. Muhammad came to their kingdom, his sword raised. He killed her father, he captured her husband, then killed him as well. After this, the Prophet called for the princess, this girl, only 16 or 17. He said to her, "Choose. Follow your kin into the sand or follow me into the embrace of the one true God." She chose God, of course, right there, and they were married. She was Safiya. She was the wife of the Prophet. He listened to her. She became perhaps one of the greatest women ever to live, a woman blessed later to save the Prophet from near death. My mother named me after her. Americans made it Sophia after I was kept there, after Saddam murdered my family. But it is Safiya, the princess who dreamed of the moon. All right, what's up, comic book fans? Um, Literary fiction fans, hopefully. Uh, Today I want to answer the question: can comic books be used to tell real world stories and about real world issues? And can, within the realm of comic books, can there be a literary comic graphic novel? And today I'm going to be using a modern example of this, and that is The Sheriff of Babylon by Tom King. To me, this is the modern day Mouse, which is a piece of literature about Nazi Germany that was, you know, not about Nazi Germany, but about the Holocaust from a Jewish man's perspective, and it was told in the form of a comic book called Moss. And this is a very, very nuanced approach to the fall of Baghdad, which was just a terrible period of time where the US had their hand in a lot of stuff in Iraq that they should not have. And 9/11 was kind of used as justification for this. And in this story, what we actually get, instead of trying to be this um, political, you know, book about like what the US was doing wrong, which, yes, it does criticize the US's actions, though not plainly. It's more like it just gives you a very nuanced look into characters, fictional people that are probably modeled after very real world people that were affected by this. And Tom King actually worked in the CIA for a while before he became a comic book writer. He says in this book that he was not a CIA operative for very long, but I'm sure his service definitely impacted how he wrote these scenes, because this does not glorify violence. This book is about the damage that nationalism and patriotism in a way can do to the human experience, and the way that these lines we draw on the globe and these different religions that we follow can really like it's heartbreaking. And in this story we follow Christopher. So we have three main characters. We have Christopher, we have Sophia, or her real name, that's the name the Americans gave her. Her real name is Safiya, Safiyyah, and then Nasir, or was it Hasir? I think it's Nasir. Yeah, Nasir, who's probably, it's between Nasir and Sophia, who is my favorite, but all three I thought were really nuanced characters. And you basically have, from the point of view of one American who really doesn't want to be there, and two Iraqi, this whole catastrophe that's going on. And it's not like this thriller storyline. I mean, it is presented as such at times, and in the final chapters it does feel like a thriller, but it may get your blood pumping. You may want to turn the next page to see what happens. But the point of this story was not to catch the bad guy. The point of the story is that there are too many bad guys to catch, and that there is a lot of abuse of power, and that there are amoral and unethical abuses of power on both sides of the line, and how some people are the victims of this violence. And I just thought it was really well done. Nasir and Sophia, their character arcs, or not really arcs, because they do remain the same people that they were at the beginning of the story, but their characters' truths, though Nasir definitely got changed by some stuff. But yeah, all three of these characters are morally gray and very questionable, but they're also damn if you won't root for them. And this is, I really got attached to this team because Mitch Gerrits and Tom King both worked on Miracle Man, which is my favorite comic of all time. And they also worked on Strange Adventures with another artist whose name I'm blanking on. Let me see. It is Doc Shaner. Yeah, Strange Adventures was with Mitch Gerrits and Doc Shaner, but Mitch Gerrits and Tom King have they've made a name for themselves for always making amazing work together, and this is actually where they started working together, was Sheriff of Babylon. And yeah, I think this is an amazing work. If you're looking for a comic, if you've maybe not been a fan of superhero comics or sci-fi comics, and you want to try something a bit more literary, a bit more real world, then I think that this is a poignant reminder of what our government is capable of. And especially now, where I feel like empathy is not on a lot of people's minds. In fact, we seem to be a people possessed with apathism. We're constantly apathetic to the struggles of others, and this just goes to show you, like, if you can read through this and you don't empathize with these people that for me have drastically different beliefs, drastically different cultures, but as a human being, I don't think you could read this work and not empathize with these people who are from worlds away, but they're just so human. And it's just a reminder that we should not turn a blind eye to the struggles of others. And I think Tom King is a hero for painting that message. And Tom King is one author that I think transcends comic book medium to the point where I think he is one of the great literary minds of our time. And I think he is incredibly overlooked because comic book fans find him pretentious, and then mainline, like mainly literary fans and fantasy fans and people who don't read a lot of comics aren't really aware of him. But Tom King is an absolute genius, and he constantly challenges you to empathize with others. And I definitely think you should give a read to The Sheriff of Babylon. Peace.